Very good morning, girls. Today we are discussing about human resource planning, which is there in MCOM second semester in your syllabus. Before going for what is meant by human resource planning, let us discuss one by one what is meant by human resource. Next, we think what is meant by planning. I can say human resource is a vast subject and it comprises of all planned and determined means like job design, job analysis, team design, job sharing, outsourcing, employee empowerment, and other associated practices of an organization help the human resource manager to know about the types of human resource plannings. Now let us see what is meant by planning for human resource. Here, planning for human resource is more important than planning for any other resource because here the demand for the latter means that is nothing but planning. Depends upon the size and structure of the former means the human resource or the job or the company or the industry or the organization where it is such planning is required for whether it be for a country or an industry as a whole. Let us see what are the objectives of human resource planning. The human resource planning comprises of recruitment and retain the manpower planning in an organization. What does it mean? Recruitment is nothing but equally important to retain the employees also because repeated recruitments will weaken the organization because the public may think that the organization is not in a position to retain the employees. When the employee is leaving, then only will be recruiting for the new employees. Now coming to the second objective, to foresee the employee turnover and make due arrangements because after recruiting it is equally important to see the employee capacity, how far the employee will be useful for the organization, how far he will be dedicated enough to render his equal and competent services to the organization. Next one is to meet the needs of the programs and expansion, diversification, etc. Means after recruiting, it is equally important to see how far the managerial needs, the organizational needs are satisfied by the employee because unless and until the employee is in a position to satisfy our needs, it's a mere waste for recruiting because it is taking the deadlock. So in such a case, repeatedly means time to time at a given period of time or frequency, it is important for the organization to see and to meet the needs. For example, if you ask the employee to perform to his level best, it is equally important for the organization also to create such atmosphere in the organization so that the employee will do his level best. So that is the third objective. And next one, to improve the standards like skill, knowledge, ability, etc. Means after recruiting, it is the even organizational duty to improve the standards. For example, we have taken an employee at A level. It is the organizational responsibility to increase the levels of the employee so that he may render his best, like to increase his knowledge levels, to increase his abilities, to identify his capacities, etc. Now coming to what is meant by human resource planning process. See, we have discussed till now about human resource planning. Now we are discussing about human resource planning process. Means everything should be done as per the process because unless and until a pattern we follow, it will be like doing a wig because without a pattern, process or pattern, nothing can be achieved. It will be just a framework. That's it. Strictly speaking about human resource planning process, there are two types of environments. One is external environment. The second one is obviously the internal environment. Coming to it is dedicated. It's a sub part. We can say a strategic planning to human resource planning. In this human resource planning, we need to object to two things. That is, the first one we are supposed to observe forecasting human resource requirements. What are the requirements for which we need HR? Next one is HR ability, means observing the human resource ability. For example, you have taken the employee for a particular position. You need to observe his skills. He may be doing well for this particular position, but by observing the ability, you may give him some other job task or some other responsibility also. So in this case, two factors we are supposed to parallelly observe, that is forecasting human requirements and forecasting human ability. So by comparing these two requirements, the ability expands to the extent demand of supply and shortage of workers. So this comparison of human resource requirements and human resource ability gives way for demand is equal to supply. Whether we have done with the part of recruiting the employees for all the positions, and the next one, whether we have any shortage of the workers. Even in this case, there are third case also which can be coming across, that is even we have surplus of workers also. For example, by comparison of ability and requirement, you may come across three stages, that is whatever your requirement is, we have satisfied. Whatever the requirement is, we may not satisfy. Whatever the requirement, maybe we have excess of employees. In these three situations, in the first step where we have equivalent number of employees, no action is required. In the second stage where we have shortage of workers, we need again the process of recruitment, selection, etc. And in the third situation where we have surplus of workers, they will be restricted for hiring or reduced hours or giving them early retirements or downsizing the employees like you will be observing in these days, or giving them layoff, means telling them, no sir, we are giving you a golden shake hand. So coming to what are the next problems we are facing in human resource planning. Here there may be different problems we will be facing across with these problems for human resource planning, out of which there may be resistance by employer. Means here you must observe there will be equal and I can say direct relationship between the employer and employee. If both are satisfied, you can say that it's a good organization, because employer satisfaction. Here I can say resistance by employers means many employers resist human resource planning as they think that it increases the cost of manpower, as trade unions demand for employees based on the plan, more facilities and benefits, including training and development. Further, employers feel that human resource planning is not necessary, as candidates will be available as and when required in our country, because it is a populous country, as you know. So with this case, employer's version will be like this, or else employer's version may be true about unskilled and clerical staff, but it is not true in the case of all other categories, as there is a shortage for certain categories of human resources. Even we can say the trade unions and employees also resist, because in the second point we say employees and trade unions, second and third point. To discuss about these two, trade unions and employees also resist human resource planning, as they view that it increases the workload of employees and prepares a program for securing the human resources mostly from outside. The other reason for their resistance is that human resource planning aims at controlling the employees through productivity, maximization, etc. What is meant by uncertainties here? Uncertainties are quite prominent in human resource practices in India due to absenteeism, seasonal employment, labor turnover, etc. Further, the uncertainties in industrial scene like technological changes, marketing conditions also cause uncertainties in human resource management. The uncertainties make the human resource planning, competitively less reliable. And inadequate information systems will also be there. Slow means inadequate information system is nothing but we can discuss about information system regarding human resource has not yet fully developed in Indian industries due to low status given to personnel department. Personnel means staff department, and less importance attached to human resource planning. Further, even we can say reliable data and information about the economy, other competitive industries, labor market, trends in human resource, etc. are not available in our country. So this identity crisis, slow and gradual process, these two are also comparatively pulling down the importance of human resource planning, because it may vary from one to another. And the next comes coordination with our other management functions. Strictly speaking, human resource planning is like 5 fingers to a hand. even though they are not equally means sized, but even the little finger is competitively and more equally important like the middle finger. So that is what is necessary. Each and every departments of management functions have to understand that we need to, because the organizations, industries, companies, or we can say the economy as a whole is running on these bases, but we can't say some is important, other is not important. Next, the last one is integration with the organizational plans. We should understand what the organization is expecting from us. Then only we can do integrated efforts, because there is a saying that unity is the strength. Even that is applicable for the management also, because management is not an exception to that. Next comes we have to discuss about recruitment, because whenever shortage of employees are there, we are supposed to recruit for the employees. Now, what is meant by recruitment? In simple terms, recruitment is understood as the process of searching for, means we need to search for the apt and means exact employee who can satisfy the organizational needs, and obtaining applicants for jobs from among whom the right people can be selected, because there may be coming 20 people, but who will satisfy your job requirements and your organizational thirst? That person must be selected. So this is the meaning of recruitment. Coming to the definition, it is a process of finding and attracting capable applicants for employment. I already told you, selection or recruitment is not a picking a particular person among few or among many, but taking the apt employee that is necessary for recruitment. The process begins when new recruitments are sought and ends when their applications are submitted. The result is a pool of applicants from which a particular new and satisfying employee will be selected. Now let us see what are the factors which may affect the process of recruitment. Obviously, there will be two factors which may be having its influence as far as recruitment process is concerned. One is internal factors and the second one is external factors. Internal factors constitute company's pay package, QWL, like organizational structure, career planning, company's size, company's products, means the nature of the company's job, and everything will be taken into consideration. Company's growth rate will also, because if I want to become an employee, I should see is the company is in a position to do it well, or the company is in budding stage. And the last one, cost of recruitment. So, internal organization and internal association of the organization as far as the employees are concerned, that is known as internal organizational factors that will be affecting recruitment, because as there is, I told you already, equal relationship between the employer and employee. I need a job, he needs an employee. So in this case, I'll be seeing, means what is that? The company, how the company is, how it is doing, what is it, production policy, like this. Everything can be, means the company's policies and strategies relating to expansion, diversification determines the human resource demand in terms of quality and quantity. And even we say the human resource policies means the company regarding the quality of human resource, compensation, work-life balance, influencing human resource plans. So these will be internal factors. Coming to external factors. External factors are nothing but socio-economic supply and demand factors, employment rate, labor market conditions, reservations for SC, ST, means this is prevailing in our country, and information system. All these will be facing, means taken into consideration. The factors, different factors, internal and external, that will have their influence as far as recruitment process is concerned. Now, what are the objectives of recruitment? Why we have to recruit people? Means what is why we will be conducting these drives, recruitment drives? The first objective will be to attract people with multidimensional skills and experiences that suit the present and future organizational strategies. I told you girls repeatedly that human resource is nothing but attracting such an employee who will be doing multiple tasks, because corporate world, if at all, for example, I'll teach, means the organization expects something extra beyond teaching. This is what is the present situation. So they attract people multidimensional, means I can do something else apart from this particular task. Yes, the company will be selecting such a person. Take our if at all I say I can sing well, I can do this one, I can do that one, means the organization will be the happiest to select that particular person, rather than I do say whatever I mean or whatever I will be selected for. So organizational see not only multiple dimension skills, but also thinks about the future's organizational strategies correlated as far as that fellow is concerned. This is the first point. And coming to the second one, to induct outsiders with a new retrospective to lead the company. Why I am taking a particular employee into the organization means I am including a particular outsider because he may introduce certain policies into the company. He may have certain ideas as far as our job and our positions are concerned. So to induce his ideas too into the organization for its growth and for its speedy retrieval, that particular production and doing everything, we may be introducing a particular person with thinking a new perspective will be added, means into our cap. Next one is to infuse fresh blood at all levels of organization. You may think that, for example, an employee is taken into the organization. He may be kept up to retirement. For example, maybe 40 years of service, 34 years of restless service. So in such case, the employee may be good for the organization, but taking the new ones into the organization may be giving a new and the latest and fastest ideas for the organization to develop. In such case also, we need new employees into the organization. Next, to develop an organizational culture that attracts competent people to the company. Means the organization after a particular period of time need not only to develop but attracts the competent people of the company. For example, I'll tell you girls, in a particular motor company, a particular person A, Mr. A is doing well. In such case, once the company identifies Mr. A is doing well and he will be satisfied, or he will be given with enthusiastic bonus, benefits and everything, a word of appraisal at least, that he is doing a good job. When the particular company gives him a chance, obviously the external competitor will be observing who is doing the best in that particular organization, and they will be attracting, calling the person and say that we'll give whatever the salary the organization is giving, we give it increment. So in this way, what does that mean? They need a particular person who will be developing the organization. That is also the part and parcel of the recruitment process. Next, as we have already seen, recruitment, internal factors, external factors and objectives. Now we can see what are the sources we can take, means how can we find out? Say now I need an employee. Can I stand on a road and call each and everyone, tell my job responsibilities and feel that he may be suitable or she may be suitable? No, there is a certain process where we can, or where we can take the employees, or where we will be getting the right employee. Here also there are two factors, that is internal and external. Coming to internal, promotion. Promotion and upgrading is nothing but taking from one level to another. Transfers from one department to another. I told you already, we need multidimensional people. And retired, demotion and retrenchment of the employees. In these situations also, we need recruitments. Coming to external, through advertisements, you people know pretty well than me, campus recruitments, placement agencies, we have so many consultancies on outsourcing, employment exchanges. This is the age-old means a pattern where we'll be getting employees. And last one, labor contractors. You will be knowing all these like internal and external. So in this case, we will be observing all these cases, like what are the internal sources and what are the external sources. So through this we will be observing and will be getting the particular employee. So and when. Next comes selection. What is meant by selection? Selection in simple words, I do say, is nothing but when this particular word called selection is used, means when you have more and more number of options. This is very necessary. For example, I have given you one apple and asked you to eat the selected, means select the apple and eat. In such case, immediately you will be asking, where is the question of selection, madam? Because you are left with only, you have given me only one apple. There is no scope for selection. So what does we need for selection? We need for selection a multiple options. Means out of the given alternatives. Means first of all I need to give you number of alternatives. Then I can ask you to select among the given alternatives. That is what is meant by selection. So how do we select? First of all, we need to collect the resumes, means the biodatas of the candidates. Next, we have to see the candidate summary sheet. We must observe. Next, we'll go with the preliminary first round of interview. From the first round of interview, we'll shortlist. Next, we will call for reference check if the employee is doing good or what is the past and historical background of the particular employee. Next comes a final interview. After the final interview, we'll give the selection decision. Once the selection decision is given, we'll ask a particular, not in all the cadres of the selection and recruitment, but in certain cadres, we have to go with the medical checkups also. After going through medical checkup, we ask for the salary negotiations, of course. So, for example, the candidate may write something, but the organization will say, as per our procedures and as per our rules and regulations, we will be giving this. If that is acceptable for the employee, I can say the candidate, then offer letter will be released to that particular person. This is what is employment contract. So this we can say process. Next, how many selection types of tests may be conducted from one person to another, or one job to another, one nature of recruitment to another. So based on these so many varieties, nature of the organization, type of the product they are doing, and industrial requirements or job responsibilities, depending on the nature of job also, we'll have different types of selection procedures. Like performance test, personality test, aptitude test, interest tests, intelligence test, projective test, GK test, and perception test, depending on from one to another, means different natures of the organizations. Next is we are supposed to know about this interview. How many types of interview? So first of all, what is meant by interview? An interview is a conversation between two or more people, the interviewer and the interviewer. More probably two will be there, where questions are asked by the interviewer to obtain information from the interviewer. For example, I am interviewing you, a particular girl. In such case, I'll be asking the questions and I'll be trying to get the information from the you people who is sitting opposite to me. The job interviews will be an interview to determine whether an applicant is suitable for the position of employment. What is the process? Why? What is the motive? What is the objective we are taking the particular person into the organization? Only because will he be suitable to my job responsibility or not? That's it. With this motive, we'll be doing the selection interview. Next one is placement. How and why? We need to, after the selection process is done with, we are supposed to go with the placement. I told you already, entire the structure, cycle of selection. So after everything is done, placement should be. What is meant by placement? Placement is nothing but it's a process of assigning a specific job to teach to each one of the selected candidates. It involves assigning a specific rank and responsibility to an individual. It implies matching the requirements of a job with qualifications of the candidates. This is more important. In other words, we can say placement is the determination of the job to which an accepted candidate is to be assigned and his assignment of that particular job. It is matching of what the supervisor has reason to think he can do with the job demands. It is not, even we can more say that it's a matching of what he imposes to strain working conditions and what he offers in the form of payroll, companionship with others, promotional possibilities, etc. Now, after he has got placed, after he has his services with the organization, what is his next expectancy levels as far as organization is concerned? Promotion. Promotion is nothing but an advancement within an organization. It's an internal task. It is an upward movement of an employee from current position or current job to another that is higher in pay, higher in responsibility, higher in status, and higher in organizational level also. That is what is meant by promotion. Next, we have to think and we have to means even discuss last but not the least is transfers. A transfer implies a lateral movement of an employee in the hierarchy position with the same pay and same status. It means a change in the job assignment. It refers to a horizontal or lateral movement of an employee from one job to another job in the same organization without much change in higher status and package. Now, so by saying a simple means difference between promotion and transfer, let me conclude my lecture, girls. I said already in promotion, this is nothing but this is an improvement of the employee cadre from one particular position to the another. Means here in case of promotion there will be advancement. Here both the transfer and promotion are internal of the organizational lines, but the only thing is promotion is means upward trend movement of an employee from current job to another, maybe in responsibility, maybe in pay, maybe in status, or maybe in organizational level. Whereas transfers will not means give a high pay or high status or high hierarchy levels, and these job transfers and job rotations are quite common as far as the banking sectors and customs, central excise or key factors are concerned. They will be within the organization. There will not be much means a difference as the grade of pay or everything is concerned, but only thing is they will be moving from one position to another. This is transfer. Promotion means one responsibility is increased, one pay is increased, one designation is increased. This is the difference. So with this, we have completed the second unit in second semester MCOM, that is human resource planning up to selection, training and promotion. Thank you, girls.